5 days you work, 1 whole day to play. Come on everybody, wear your roller skates today. It's Saturday, 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 it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday, Saturday, it's Saturday,
Saturday with Renee. All right, welcome everybody back to Black Liberation Media and what is episode 114 of Saturdays with Renee, featuring Renee Johnston. I'm Jared Ball. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, support the Patreon, put this in your socials. Renee!
What up? I forgot that we talked about changing the intro.
So it's a work in progress, but we did talk about it, and
we did
and all that's going on and being revealed about the world of AI. You know, I admit I felt a kind of way about our intro having an AI base, and I asked you what you thought about it, and then, you know, so give me, you know, I'll work on it. Now the good part of it is that I was able to get that acapella, which that was good. And the real good news is that the video footage is from NewJersey.com.
Ah,
It's a little hometown, you know, sort of, you know.
So hopefully we won't get dinged, right? We won't. We'll find out later.
We'll find out shortly, but and by the way, yes, that's Vinia Mojica. I just want to shout her out, who we hear, whose voice we hear, and so now if you're not an expert, as I am not, you know, that this editing takes a minute. Like it is a bit.
It's a lot of work, man.
Even for that right there was a little bit. But so in time we're gonna work it out, because we're gonna you know, now I will say, with Renee's, you know, final approval, we invite, if you a producer, you got a loose beat hanging around or something, you want to throw us a little something, you know what I'm saying? We can have a little, you know, show intro contest and win your right to be the producer of the Saturdays with Renee intro. You know what I mean? You know.
That would be dope.
Try and get off stay away from the AI. And it's going to get easier and easier to replace ourselves. So please, if you are at all interested, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we're talking about.
There you go. Always with the negativity. Why we got to be negative?
Come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. Paul's trolling us. Paul will probably send us something by the end of the show. So before we do have a guest, and our guest is here. Salute to Dre, who will be joining us here shortly to talk a bit about elections and progressive inertia.
Mm-hmm. But
you did have Renee. Boy, oh boy. Second only to Renee's legendary spreadsheets are the chats. So is there anything you want to prepare the good people with?
I feel like y'all didn't get no warning before you had to suffer through it.
So if we got no warning, they should get no warning.
No one gets a warning. Everybody just has to live with it and just deal. I mean, I got no warning and I had to survive it. And I feel like misery loves company. Shout out to Nolly, to Monty Now, who got jumped on yesterday for sending out stuff.
Is there a podcast called No Warning Shots?
There might be.
That sounds like a dope name, but that's what it is around here. No warning shots.
I do like that. But yeah, I feel like we just go. And then once everybody else suffers through it, then, you know,
we'll all be a family of sufferers.
There you go.
There you go. Creating community here at Saturdays with Renee. This is from the Michael Dell Instagram.
Really exciting.
Absolutely. It's a very special moment. We're making a $6.25 billion investment in America's kids through our charitable funds.
Next year, every American child will be able to get an investment account powered by Invest America.
We've seen what happens when a child gets even a small financial head start. Their world expands.
The real power of these accounts is that anyone can contribute. Parents, relatives, friends, everyone can help shape a child's future.
To philanthropists, companies, community leaders, if you want to be part of something truly meaningful for our kids, for our communities, for our country, join us.
And to parents and caregivers, stay tuned and get ready to activate your child's account. Every contribution can grow over the years, just like your child.
Together, we can make possibility something every child can count on.
And that's a future worth investing in.
First of all, you have all that money. We can't do better production quality stuff. Like who thought that was going to be a hot promo?
But I can't.
Like I kept looking for this to be like on the Onions account.
Yo, listen, let me tell you something. I watched that and I was like, what in the world is going on?
See, that's the part. See, that's right. See, Chitty Box is trying to get us set up. I'm not saying a word.
I'm gonna read it because this is why I sent it to everybody. Because I watched that and I was like, what in the world am I looking at? So Chitty Bacha said, what the fuck is wrong with her face? Is she real life AI? Y'all.
Nope. No comment.
Listen.
But somebody with a lot of money, with endless pockets, thought this was
a good idea. And there are pictures when they did the announcement at the White House, and she seriously looks like she's about to topple over. I don't understand what's happening right now. But of course, as y'all know, things like this happen, and it sends me head first down the rabbit hole. Because then I was like, well, what are these accounts and what's going on? And what is this storyline? So the Dells gave $6.25 billion to this fund that was approved as part of the Big Beautiful Bill. So they're opening these traditional IRAs that are called literally Trump accounts. You can't make this stuff up. And you can apply as a family for your child to get a Trump account. So the account is started by the federal government. They get $1,000 and it grows and people can give and you can contribute and whatever. But it's literally a traditional IRA, which means like all of the things that would normally cause your IRA to lose money are all in place, right? So it doesn't work. There's no like, it's not like a protected account, right? But as I started to really think about it, the goal is to start one of these accounts for 25 million children. So there's like 75 million children in the country. So I'm like, wait, so we only going to cover like a third of the kids? Like, is this the plan? Second of all, that 6.25 billion doesn't cover even close to what needs to happen, right? Like in order for this to actually work. So their contribution actually only gives like $250 to this account for each child if they actually open. But on top of that, like I started thinking, like this was the plan instead of just like, I don't know, universal income, if that's like, you know what I mean? Like instead of, I don't know, like raising wages for people. And then I started really looking at Dell because y'all, you know how my head works. So then I was like, how much money is Dell giving to Israel, and it's a lot, right? Like the IDF is completely functioning on Dell products. So I'm like, so is this like, we helped kill tens of thousands of children in Palestine, so we're gonna give $1,000 to children here and hope that like people like don't pay attention. The whole thing is so bizarre, starting with that commercial. Like I just don't I don't understand.
No, I mean, again, all the fakery about philanthropy and all this other kind of stuff is absurd, and it's only necessary because of all the exploitation and the created inequality in the first place. So it's but it's perfect for a world in which FIFA is creating and then giving Donald Trump a peace prize. And I saw you had put that on the run sheet at one point.
I sure did.
But as I was, but like, I was like, don't get too mad, because this is also the world that gave Obama and Kissinger peace prizes. So,
but this is FIFA's inaugural peace prize, which
but I'm just saying,
probably literally created just so they could do this thing for Donald Trump. And I almost fell over when I read that, because we just showed last week Clow confronting him.
Yeah.
And like him pretending like, well, FIFA don't have nothing to do with political stuff, but here we go.
FIFA's always been political, and all I meant by that though is that FIFA creating and then giving him an award is wildly absurd, but it is still, to me, a subsidiary of the grander.
100%.
Because even the history, isn't that the history of the Peace Prize? Isn't that the story that Nobel had built a life creating weapons of war and then read an obituary before he died about himself and wanted to clean up his image, and that's what the origin of the piece. I think that's the piece. I would want to be double checked on that, but I believe that's the history is something like that. Yeah. Dre's confirming it in the private chat. That is, so the whole thing is a concocted PR thing on a grand level. And then, of course, my favorite was that they gave it to Obama and said as they were delivering the prize, we're doing this in the hope that you will earn it. That was my favorite part. So I went to my classes that semester and said to everybody, I've already entered the A for you all at the beginning of the semester, and I just hope over the next 16 weeks you earn it. And I don't think Morgan will have a problem with that, right? Because that's how things work, right?
Man,
that's how you got your journalism award, right?
Right. I got it because
in the hopes
you knew something was coming.
Not that you had done anything. They were like, we think you might, and we hope you will.
Oh, it's brutal. But this just reminded me of the chick in Oklahoma, and I should have pulled that. I should have put that on the list too. But we can circle back to that. Let's go on and bring. Yeah, you don't know the Oklahoma. Oh.
No. So just leave it there. Maybe there's someone else like me.
We're gonna leave it there. But Dre, you good? You ready?
Thumbs up. Yep. All right, here we go. Welcome.
What up? What up?
What up?
Yeah. Salam alaikum. How y'all doing?
Wa alaikum salam. Welcome. Peace.
Yeah.
Got Shaft. Multiple Shaft posters. That is legendary right there. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations is hilarious. Yeah.
So
you woke me up with that lady face, because I looked up that story and I did my best to not see her face. That face is the thing a thing of nightmares. That shit is bad.
Yo,
that shit is bad.
Listen, I want everybody to know that my goal was to torture everybody else, because once I suffered through it, I ain't doing that alone.
Nah, I feel you.
Nah, I can't do that alone. So, as is typical, Dre, if you could introduce yourself to the crew
Okay.
People might not recognize that you are the Dre from the chat. So,
Yeah.
so if you want to
Yeah.
tell folks about you and what's going on, and you have a little bit of an echo, so I don't know.
I got an echo.
I don't know if it was you or
Shit, I don't
Jared
know.
or
There was just some. There was some. I didn't. It was some noise somewhere.
Did it go away, or you can still hear it?
I think you're good, but
Okay.
no, I
Okay.
actually no. I do hear it now. You're right. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me see something.
It might be that you just need to, if you have headphones, that would help probably, or
Oh,
if
let
you
me
do,
see.
that might take
Yeah,
care of it.
Yeah,
But
give me 1 second.
all right, so we'll let Dre.
All right, so since we have the lead trade, so I'm gonna let you in on the Oklahoma joke because this is some wild stuff. So there's a student at the University of Oklahoma, and I hope, yeah, it's definitely University of Oklahoma, who got a failing grade on a paper, and I can't believe you don't know this story. So she got a failing grade on a paper. She's taking a gender studies class. She got a failing grade on a paper. She complained to the university that the failing grade was discrimination because of her religious beliefs. Her
Oh,
paper
wow.
in her gender studies class, which is supposed to be an academic paper, was an opinion piece utilizing, you guessed it, the Bible as the source. So, you know, so the Bible.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. That's.
She doesn't do cites. There's no citations. Like the whole thing. And I, you know what, Monty? I agree 100%. It was definitely a setup by Turning Point. She's one of these Turning Point USA people. Her mother is an attorney who defended January 6 rioters, like this whole thing. But the storyline itself of this child putting through a paper that is not academic, that is not source, that is not reading. The paper is terrible. It's all opinion. And it doesn't even use like the Bible being the source. It doesn't even utilize actual any like nothing from the. It is the wildest version of an academic paper ever. And it's embarrassing. I agree.
Is this? They published the link to the paper.
Yes, the paper.
Women naturally do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. The same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in the image of his beauty.
Right.
That's it. And it's 2 pages, 650 words of this. And you're right. No citations. She doesn't even, there's not even a reference to something in the Bible.
Right. Like it doesn't even
So it's not even accurately citing the Bible. Right. In Genesis, God says in Genesis, God says that it is not good for man to be alone. So he created a helper for man, in parentheses, which is woman. And then she's quoting the word helper, but not from any passage or any verse, and certainly not engaging in any issues of translation and all of that. So she's just saying God said women are here to be helping men. And the Bible said so, even though I'm not telling you where.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. And so the person who gave her was a TA and apparently is also a trans person, and so the school went after the TA, even though the paper is terrible, and the TA sought support on how to went to another professor, like, what do I do with this? And the professor was like, you can't, you have to fail this. This is not even it's not even aligned with the rubric that was required for the paper. The whole storyline is crazy.
And the paper said that the student complained that she received a failing grade on a paper that cited the Bible to assert that, quote, belief in multiple genders was demonic.
Right.
Now, again, you can write an certainly an undergraduate academic passable paper that does argue multiple genders according to the Bible and religious beliefs is belief in that is demonic. You can do that and get an A.
Right, but you have to cite.
But you have to do it.
Right, like you have to actually write like you
Make
have
the
to
argument.
write the paper and make the argument, right? And not that I would agree in any way with that
No,
argument,
no.
but like if you're going to say you're writing an academic paper to support your religious beliefs, then write the academic paper that supports your religious beliefs. Don't write nonsense and then be mad because
And that should be the point. The point should be you failed based on academic standards
Right.
and the rubric set for the class. And that, because again, I've never had anything quite this. I don't know about that. I might have had something once or twice that reaches this level of absurdity. But the point is, I don't fail you because of your argument in terms of your perspective.
Right.
So and if you take the steps that are required for the methodology, et cetera, and so forth, by all means, write up your nonsense. And I'll even tell you it's nonsense as I give you an A. I'll be like, look, I mean, politically, historically, this is garbage, but you get an A for meeting, but, or you fail, even if I agree with you, you fail because you can't just say Dr. Ball is right and get an A, believe it or not.
Right. So I just figured you being a professor and all,
I don't catch them all, man. So
this would be one of the things and I can't believe I didn't like just send it in. I think I was so like awed by the ridiculousness of the story that I just laughed about it. And then when you see the pictures of the person, it all just comes together. Like she's a hot mess. The mom is a hot mess. Like they're like the whole thing is a hot mess, but wild.
All right.
All right,
so I think we got Dre.
Yeah, I think we got Dre back.
Let's give Dre. All right.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, cool.
All right, so Dre, introduce yourself to the crew. Let folks know where you're from, why you're here, what's going on, and then we will get into the progressive inertia.
All right. Well, yeah, like if you didn't know, I'm Dre without. That's usually in the chat saying a bunch of nonsense. I'm from my mother, but I was born and raised in Harlem. New York City. Lived there for the majority of my life. Now I'm in Ohio. A part of BAP Midwest. I actually found BAP through this platform when I was in Thailand because I was bored and I used to watch Earn Your Leisure, and used to think I could get like a capitalism myself out of situations. And then I think I typed in the name wrong one time in the search bar, and Earn Your Liberation came up. So I was watching y'all, and then from there, like that's what got me here. And so, like I said before, from that got into BAP. I'm part of BAP Midwest in Ohio. We're trying to get something together here. We're new, not necessarily a cluster, but we just a part of BAP Midwest. As far as progressive inertia, to get to that, my political journey started at a young age. Again, being from New York City, so you deal with all of the nonsense, the stop and frisk, the police brutality, the living not far away from Al Sharpton's little hut where he would have people. Like I've been there as a child. Like the YMCA took us over there. Like I've been there. I've been in Audubon, been all of that as a kid, but like not really knowing the significance of it until I think I had two moments of my political awakening. One, I think I was like 18, 19. About 18, 19. And we were in a building across the street from the state building, getting ready to go to Albany about trying to help fight against parole boards. And I was on my hater of Al Sharpton thing early. So like I've been a principled hater for a long time, but I'm getting it together now. So I was talking about Al Sharpton, and these older women were telling me like, nah, he done so much for the community. And I was like, what, run behind an ambulance? And then they didn't say nothing to me, and then I ended up out of that org. Nevertheless.
Can I jump in real quick? I forgive the interruption, but this is funny you mentioned Al Sharpton because and your struggle with hate and I did. So I took the bait and looked up the Jeffrey Epstein Jmail database
God.
where you can review his emails like you're him.
Oh,
And I did put Sharpton's name in there. And to his credit,
yeah.
Sharpton only appears in one email, and I'm going to show it to you here. And it has nothing to do with him directly. It's about him
Gotcha.
and a joke about him. But it
Gotcha.
speaks to what you just pointed to. Because it's in an email from 2013. Joel Dunn sent a joke about the shortest books of all time. And one of the shortest books of all time is these are all jokes, of course, is said to be My Christian Accomplishments and How I Helped After Katrina by Reverend Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton.
Yeah. That makes
So I had
sense.
to admit
Like,
that was kind of funny.
yeah. All
But
things considered.
all things considered. All things
Yeah.
considered. So
Yeah.
I just throw that in there. But it seemed like it was relevant. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, it was that moment, and then there was another moment when I was talking to my friends downtown Manhattan one time, and I was like super pissed off. Again, principal hater, but just not knowing it yet. Just super pissed off about all the shit that's going on. And one of my homeboys, who barely went to school, but he was hella smart, but high school in New York City, like it was a hangout a lot of the times, and then dealing with cops and other dumb shit. Like it's really hard to stay focused. So we talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I hear you. Like I understand you want to go out there and do something, but you." Speaking how you speaking, like you'll get people riled up, but once you start going, you might not have nobody behind you. And then that made me very regressive in my politics for a bit, where I was just thinking, like, as long as I duck, I'll be all right. And I didn't like that. Like, I like that at the moment. Like, yeah, as long as I'm aware of what's going on, I'm cool. I don't really care about what's happening to everybody else. But as time passed, and as we get to progressive inertia, I'm realizing that that's like basically progressive inertia. And what progressive inertia is, as far as on a baseline, saying that we are in this political climate. We've been in this political climate forever. Politics has been since past 1492, like how they operate. So we've been in this political climate. We constantly are looking for liberation, but we're getting like bits of freedom every go. We're constantly looking for liberation, but we're getting bits of freedom. So we get a couple bills passed, a couple ordinances, a couple like people you like in office. You're getting Obama. You get all types of shit that it feels like things are changing, but realistically, they're just going up to then go flat again because it's going to be cool for maybe 4 to 8 years, however long those policies last. But there'll always be friction going against it that doesn't really allow any actual qualitative change in a way that creates a space for everybody to actually be liberated. Like we're all free. So to make that make more sense, like because of you, I got into George Jackson heavy, and then he helped me for sure become a principal hater. But like the idea of being in prison, people think that those people are free to move around. They're just limited, and I feel like we are all in prison. We just have a longer distance between us and the sniper tower. So it's the understanding of progressive inertia, where we're thinking that shit is really changing. And in all honesty, it's just kind of creating a comfortable demise where it'll go up for a little bit, but then it'll flatten out, and then we'll be cool and like, yeah, this is all good. And then every couple of years or couple of months, you'll have people screaming, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening!" Blah blah blah. Like I'm half Trinidadian. Like a lot of the shit that's happening in Trinidad right now is wild, but shit similar to that has happened before where like the 1970 Black Power rallies happened and Nixon was like, yeah, I'm not going to send no troops and shit over there while I'm, destroying shit in other places. So it's like all of these things that go on and consistently happen because the only way to stop something is to stop something. So progressive inertia is people like Zoran Mandani. Progressive inertia is people like Barack Obama. It is those people because it creates a space where you feel like things are actually changing, but they're really just going in a place to be flat. Yeah.
So Dre is in our chat on the Discord. And I just want everybody to know that these are the moments where I'm glad that I'm like the random person who pops into the Discord like at the most random times and finds something. So Dre posted a video discussing Mamdani, and in his discussion during the video, you made mention of this term progressive inertia. And so I immediately was like, wait, did you make this up? Or like, did you get this from somewhere? Because it's so perfect. Like, it really is so perfect a way to describe what this electoral process feels like as people who really want it to work to do something and are fully aware that it does not work to do anything. And it's in part because we can't, like, you're trying to get people in who maybe could do something, and one of two things happen. Either those people get in and then they turn out to be as bad as the ones that were already there, or they can't get in, right? Like, it's one or the other. And so for folks who I mean, and this is not saying anybody in the chat wouldn't make the connection, but just so people understand, like, the scientific term of inertia, it's a property, like a property of matter, right? So inertia basically means, like, any object will stay at rest if it's already at rest, or it will move consistent in the same speed, same direction, whatever, unless it encounters something to force it to do something differently. So it will stay at rest as long as nothing pushes it into motion. It'll stay in motion in the same direction at the same speed unless something forces it to stop, forces it to change motion. So that scientific understanding of what inertia is, to apply to make it applicable to our political climate, is perfect, because that's really what we have going. Like, we're all just moving and spinning and going and going and going, and nothing's actually really changing. And any little bit of change that we get inevitably goes away because, it's limited. Even the Trump thing that I talked about at the start, these Trump accounts, it's only, like, you can only open one between 26 and 29. Like, it's not like it's not in perpetuity, right? Like, it's not like they're instituting this thing that's going to happen forever. So they're just creating a small group of families, because multiple children within the same family can get one of these accounts as long as they're born within that time frame, right? So they're essentially creating another group of people who are going to be reliant upon the stock system, right? Like, this actually does nothing. Right? Like,
No, it fits perfectly. So just quickly, I remember also that, Fanon used to say that what people call the apathy of the poor is really colonial inertia, as he described it. And then to Renee, your last point, it's also like, this is a whole thing going on with, like, there's a whole lot of more of that kind of, let's invite people in a variety of ways from early ages on to fall into and throw themselves into this ultimately this system of gambling and throwing away your money to be collected by the richest group. And CoffeeZilla just did a story about, there's a new app or platform apparently that will allow you to gamble your credit card debt. So it allows you to put up your debt and do casino style on, via app gambling to see if you can get rid of your debt. And of course you won't, and you will only increase it.
Oh no.
But it's like, and they promote it as a fun way of balancing your budget.
can I just tell you, that is the creepiest thing I think I've ever heard you say out loud. And that's saying a lot when you think about, like, the 114 episodes that we had in history, like, that you can actually put your credit card debt up to gamble with in hopes that, like, you're going to
You get it off.
when no one ever beats the house in gambling, like, ever.
No.
It never happens.
That's the point.
Yo, that's wild.
Actually, to that point, one of my favorite movies, even though, like, he's a shitty person, but he got great movies. Is Blow, right? So I really got into it because I followed like the life of George Jung because of that fucking movie. But
Oh, right, right,
in the
right.
in the beginning of that movie, Ray Liotta, who sadly his last movie was some bullshit. It was that 92 or 93 movie with Tyrese, where Tyrese told his son, "Hey man, we shouldn't be burning down stores because that's not the it's not the store's fault. It's not the cops' fault. We gotta be better." Shut up, Tyrese. So in Blow, when he's talking about his life, like his upbringing, he talks about his dad when his dad he loved him and all that. He talks about when his dad is going bankrupt or whatever, and he's that, and George is like, "Hey, Dad, like, what are we gonna do? Like, we gonna be able to eat? Is Mom gonna leave? Are you gonna leave?" He was like, "Hey, George, I want you to understand this. Uh, the money isn't real in life. You have ups and downs, pitches and falls. So when it's down, you feel like it'll never go up. And when it's up, you feel like you'll never go down again because the money isn't real." And then George didn't understand that shit for his whole life until he got to the point where he went to the federal prison. And he was talking to his father as his dad was dying or whatever. And he was like, "Yo, after all of this shit that I've been through, all of the cars, the clothes, the money, the hoes, like, I've realized that the money isn't real." And it's the same thing with gambling, debt, and all this other shit. It's not real. It's like people are so caught up in the idea of capitalism that there's people who think a social credit card, possibly that's in China, is not a credit card here. Like that's what a credit card is here. The idea of you not being able to buy a house, not being able to get a job, not being able to go to certain schools or whatever is because of your social credit. That shit only applies here. When I lived in Thailand, I didn't have to worry about no goddamn social credit card. I just needed money in my pocket. Like that was it. But yeah.
And can I just, this is very, very random, but as we were talking about gambling, it reminded me of something, yes, that my mother told me about that that I had forgotten to look up. So, they're about to open these 3 casinos in New York City. Like,
Yeah.
and we talked about this a while back, I think, of this because Nas was one of the people that was promoting this whole casino thing. You see that headline?
Bally's wins one of NYC's casino licenses, a $115 million windfall for a Trump organization. Bally's headquarters in Providence and one of the state's largest private employers is one of 3 companies that has been awarded a license to build a casino in New York City. Let's see.
It's down. It's like,
who's this 5.5 billion? Is it the Genting? Is that not them?
Yeah. So essentially, Trump and Bally's made a deal because where they're about to build this casino is, I think, where there used to be, or where there currently is, a golf course, a Trump course. And the deal when he sold the property to Bally's was that if they ever got a license to actually build their casino, that they would have to pay Trump
Wow.
$15 million. So, so just so we're clear when these things are happening, right? Like you can always backtrack it to the rich people having a plan for how they're going to profit off this later, right? And so when you think about, like, why are we building 3 casinos in New York City? Like, why? Why? Just why? And then when you think about who actually gets to build those casinos and the links to Trump and Mamdani going to the White House and like the whole thing to me is just so fucking messy.
Yeah.
And it's always about money and never about people. And
For sure.
again, why are we building 3 casinos in New York City? Like for what purpose?
Me and my friends actually got banned from one of those casinos, like the one that's in Queens, because I hate Queens so much. But my friend got into a fight there. But that's initially why I didn't trust Zoran. I mean, I don't trust any politician. I don't care what,
Because he's from Queens.
Yeah, especially when you're from Queens. But unless I know like you personally and you're running for a politic and like you from the org I fuck with and all that, then it's like, all right, I know what type of time you want. But like Zoran is Mr. Queen Cotway. Like
But
he's a Disney kid.
I got to challenge you on that a little bit. Pharoah Monch is from Queens, and he's the greatest rapper of all time. So we have to have some.
As far as rappers, okay, rappers wise, like I like
Okay,
Nas. I don't like his politics,
okay,
but it's
okay,
like
okay, uh,
I got like I have one of my best friends from Queens. It's just Queens as a
okay,
place.
okay. Just
It,
checking. Okay,
yeah. And yeah, obviously Queens got the biggest projects in the world, but Queens as a place, it just always it produces the wrong kinds of people in the wrong spots as far as so yeah.
The
but
wrong.
Harlem never. Harlem is 100%.
No. Harlem got some bad ones. It's all across New York City. There's some bad ones, but what I'm saying is, it's like okay. For instance, with the Zoran situation, like
The Queens
the
hate.
on the baseline of the things he was trying to do, like the thing I find funny is people were like bigging up his speech, and I'm like, yeah, everybody got friends from Queens. I don't mean the shit don't suck, but um the baseline, his speech, how ferocious and how like uplifting it was. He was talking directly to Andrew Cuomo. He wasn't, he was talking about Andrew Cuomo. Like he wasn't talking like the idea of okay, the child health care thing, it's like that already was somewhat of a thing, and now they're trying to get it going. The free bus thing, it's like, all right, good luck fighting NTA about that. Like when it comes to these situations, when it comes to politicians, one of the main reasons why I don't trust them is because I know none of them will die on their shield. Not one of them will die on their shield. They would rather be the voice for the people than the voice of the people. The voice for the people is somebody speaking for you without your permission. The voice of the people is you taking our collective anger and you being a principal hater. So if you are somebody that is actually running with a position that wants to change shit to stop this progressive inertia, you have to be willing to die on your shield. Because if you die on your shield, then your constituents should carry you, right? But if you don't die on your shield, then you just end up on K Street.
Right. And it's funny, like I look at so one of the things I also found
That's
in
funny you said K Street. Renee, I'm sorry
I
to
know,
cut you off, but
no,
that's
it's
funny
okay.
that he said K Street like that. That's funny.
I'm
Because
making you
folks know who know that's funny.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's facts, right? It's it's facts. I can't. But so in part of my prepping for Dre to come on, I was curious about some of the, progressive talk that's happening. And there has recently been a real upsurge in this talk about progressive policies because there's a group called Demand Justice that has released $1 million campaign to speak out about Democratic senators who voted with Republicans about, I think, judges or something. I don't. I'm so sick of these people. But their actual in their actual presentation for this, this campaign that they're doing, it's all about we're progressives, right? So I put some links in there, Jared. I don't know if you can, like the first one, which is just the about Democratic demand justice.
And this is from.
It's on the run sheet. Yeah, I know. I did this to you. I'm sorry. So this definitely went on the run sheet after you were in there this morning, but before the show.
So which link am I looking for?
So on the demand justice row 19.
Oh, right. Got it.
That first one.
Yeah.
And so this is the group that's now like running this campaign because they're progressives and they want to try and do something about, our democracy or whatever. And so you see, it says we're building a progressive movement to ensure courts protect our rights, not dismantle them. And so it's this whole thing about like Trump. But if you scroll down a little bit, they reference Biden because, it was all good. So it says under the Biden administration, we saw the types of improvements that can happen when our elected officials are willing to prioritize judges dedicated to public service, right?
Yeah.
Now, I want everybody to understand that under Biden, we got more cops. Under Biden, we got ice cream in the White House. under Biden, we got a policy about, that was supposed to do stuff to prevent murders like George Floyd's, but actually didn't address anything that killed George Floyd, right? And so, so that got me to thinking, right? Like, okay, so what I'm stumbling because I'm telling y'all, like, this
It's
is
nonsense.
right, like, this is the stuff that sends me spinning all the time, because here it is, this progressive group, right? And they're going after, right now on the list, it's it's an independent from Maine whose name I can't remember. There's an article in there somewhere. It's John Fetterman, and then
God.
it's yeah, I know. And then and then there's there's three people that this new campaign is going after. And I think the next column, Jared, the next like link over from the about link is about this actual this actual campaign that they're running, that they've put $1 million into. 1 million. Now imagine what $1 million could do for, let's say, like, I don't know, people that are getting kidnapped off the street and can't afford to get actual representation, because the goal when people get snatched off the street is to keep them in solitude and to eventually get them to sign something that allows you to get deported without being before a judge, right? So they're putting this whole campaign together, and it's all about going after these senators, these three senators, because it's just the three that are the problem. You're not going to worry about the rest of them.
Not the system, no.
Not the system, right? So we're just going to go after Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Maine, right? So I'm not even being funny. Like, Maine is like the whitest place on earth, but we're just going to leave that there, right? So then this had me looking at, like, okay, so what exactly is like, what is this demand justice really? So I scrolled down to the bottom of the page and discovered that they're actually a PAC, right? Like they're a PAC, and they're a super PAC. And so the third column, Jared, is a link to their open secrets. Y'all are welcome. See, you don't have to fall down the rabbit hole because I did it, right? And so, so when you look at who they get, they're completely, they just give money to whoever's the Democrat running, right? Like, they're not looking at like who, like, there's people on this list who are in full support of Israel, who are in full support of police, who are in like all of these who signed off on the big beautiful bill. Like, there are all these people who serve no purpose with actually making policy changes.
Progressive inertia.
They're not even getting that much money.
No, well, they're limited because it's a PAC. So there's this whole, like, they're not a full super PAC.
There go my girl.
There's like a limit. But they gave to,
there you go. Lord, also Brooks,
right. They gave to Schumer.
Barbara Lee. She was the one person to not vote for the war in Iraq. I'm so sick of hearing that stuff.
Yo, I remember. All right, so real quick, random ass story. When I was in high school, I used to cut school a lot and hang out with girls. And I used to also cut school a lot to watch C-SPAN because I'd be bored as shit at school because, like, the history they was teaching, I didn't really give a fuck. So I used to really fuck with Barbara Lee and some Barbara Boxer, somebody Boxer. It was Barbara
Boxer,
yeah, Barbara Boxer. I used to fuck with them hard. So I remember, I know them. Yeah,
that's a weird combination. Cut school to hang with girls and watch C-SPAN.
Yeah, man. Look,
it's a little bit weird, but okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Look, whatever.
That's how you ended up here.
Right.
Hey.
Hey. So I just also wanted to point out, like, John Fetterman is the one politician I can think of that literally did the thing that we always want politicians to do. He just didn't do it in the direction. Right? Like, he went in there and he just totally flipped the script, right? Like, he went ham and just, like, did whatever, right? Which is what we want people typically to do. Like, I mean, I didn't really have him up on the roof like waving an Israeli flag on my like bingo card, right? But like, you know, he went out and he did. And when people complain, he basically says like, "Yo, I vote with the Democrats like 90% of the time. Like, what are you complaining about?" And so, even in his like complete like quasi like bucking what he ran on, he's still aligned with the Democrats on more like the majority of things, which says a lot, right? That really says a lot because he's terrible, right? But yet and still he's aligned with the party. Like, so y'all, like y'all, man,
Yeah, it's
listen.
running in circles. It's
Right.
it becomes a situation where you see again, politicians are supposed to be a voice of the people and not for the people. But once they start locally, they realize, okay, you should vote locally because it affects globally or whatever have you. But once you start locally, these people you can touch them. You in arms length for the most part to be able to touch them. So they gotta kind of listen to you. But as time goes on, you got to go to work. You got to take care of your kids. You got a bunch of shit you got to do while they out there, you know, getting cool with the white machinations or whatnot. As they keep going and moving up from mayor to governor to senator to fucking whatever else, they get farther and farther away from you. They get closer and closer to K Street, and they care less and less about what you got to say because the money becomes different. So they start as a voice of the people because they're trying to get to K Street, and then they become a voice for the people. And then when that voice for the people is really the people that's paying them. They don't give a damn about what you got to talk about. So that's why it becomes a thing of the only way to stop something is to stop something. And the argument of, okay, yeah, we get Zoran. First off, he rolled back a lot of the shit that he was saying before. Secondly, the whole him not saying nothing about what was it, Rich, not Torres, the other dickhead, um, the speaker, Democratic dude, what is his name? It's not Torres, the other one,
The one that's the minor. He's oh my god. He's
minority,
the minority leader.
yeah,
Schumer,
Israel today, Israel
no, no,
tomorrow,
no,
Israel forever. The black dude.
yeah,
Jeffries. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jeffries,
yeah, yeah,
Hakeem
yeah, yeah,
Jeffries,
yeah.
I write scathing things about him on Blue Sky all the time. But Hakeem Jeffries, when they asked him about like, yo, are you gonna, back, your DSA, brethren going against him? He's like, hey, I only got to worry about New York. I only want to worry about New York. It's like, then you got people like, oh yeah, he's just worrying about New York because that's where he's gonna start at, right? And then when you start there, then we're gonna get more DSA people over here, and then we get more over here, then they're gonna be over there. It's like, fam, when he got elected, a fucking CIA agent became the governor of Virginia, and a goddamn naval helicopter lady became the mayor or whatever the fuck in New Jersey. So what are we even talking about?
Governor. Both were governors. Both
Governor,
were
yeah.
elected
What are we
governors.
talking
Yeah.
about?
Hold up, we got a West Point governor here in Maryland, so don't leave us out.
Bruh.
That's what I'm saying. So it becomes a thing of that's why you gotta organize, you gotta get with your people and build like the thing. There's already all the books already exist, all the speeches already exist. I hate when people were like, "Yo, Octavia Butler she was speaking about the future. I can't believe this happened." It's like, motherfucker, nothing's changed. What are you talking like? Nothing has changed. The only difference is we can just be mad about it online now. Like it's so the idea that you can put these people in position to change things qualitatively in a way that actually brings about like a proper society is like how many times we gonna keep trying to put a square in a circle? Like it's not it's yeah, I don't know.
See, you see that whole I don't know. That's exactly that's exactly it. That's how I feel all the time because I'm like are people and we talk about this, right? Like are people not like are they not clear on what's happening? Are they too like stressed and busy and broke to pay attention to what's
That part.
happening?
Is
Right?
that part.
Like, are they intentionally like, listen, I'm stressed, I'm broke, and I'm overworked and over policed. I don't have time to like be looking at this stuff. Like what is like, and how do we stop it?
It's a
Right?
mixture
Like,
of it. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
no, I'm saying like how, like for real. I want to know how to stop it. I want to know how to get to the place where even the person who is tired, overworked, over police, stressed, broke, unhealthy, like all those things can stop and say, this shit's fucked up and we gotta do something.
So it's a mixture. So I remember talking to this one woman I met, and she had like a family member that was like a part of like, I forgot, like she's part of the civil rights movement, but her politics was extra opposite, where she was like, yeah, you giving black folks, you give these black folks money, they buy sneakers and blah blah blah. They should be out here marching and going and being a part of the PTA. And I'm like, you do realize that we live in the epicenter of empire. So the people that are in charge, like the predator class, they've created a space where this is supposed to be happening this way. They want you to be in disarray all the time and disoriented, where you'll have a couple people who will be like, yo, what do we got to do? How do we do it? Like, yo, we're going to organize, get a bunch of people together. Let's all be, protest and figure out how we can do shit. And you'll have so many people who are caught up like, I can't because I got to pay X, Y, and Z bill, because they've made the system feel like it's like a tree. And what I mean by that is like, when you hear terms like, anytime you hear a politician say we're gonna do affordable housing, it's like that doesn't make any sense. Just make the houses affordable. Like, what are we talking about? So it becomes the argument of understanding that the system is made for you to believe that you can't live without it. It is very abusive. It needs you to think that there is no other option but what is happening right now. And then it also makes you think that, okay, the only other option is, violence, whatever the hell it may be. It makes you think that, but then at the same time, it is propped up by violence. All of this is violence. Like, it's violence and then literal violence. So putting people in that position, creating material conditions where you have to figure out like how I'm gonna feed my kids or feed myself or go to school or get a better job, or I'm only going to college to do this major in this because this is gonna get me money, not because I actually give a shit about this. It creates that space, and it creates that space by making you believe this is the only way. That's why they make those idiotic arguments like, socialism and communism has killed this many people. And it's like, how many people has capitalism killed and is currently killing? What are we talking about? So that's the thing. It's like when you get people to realize you really don't need this. You think you do. Like, this is not something that is, you don't have to do, like, we just agreeing to this shit. You don't have to do it.
Man, go ahead, Jared. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that I don't have any, the clarity I think I have around what needs to happen is just also involves everything we're not allowed to say and shouldn't say on YouTube. But I increasingly, you mentioned George Jackson, and I think about him increasingly and think he was increasingly correct. I started 20 years ago thinking he was 100% right. Now I just think he's maybe the only solution. because the reason we keep ending up, you all just showed it. I mean, whether it's PAC money, whether it's, as we've talked about elsewhere, platforming, the Democratic Party using that chorus outlet to fund Democratic influencers online, including Roland Martin. Whether it's the algorithm and advertising revenue, there's very little that encourages or leaves room for this kind of an analysis. So, and it is like, a shameless plug. I'm dropping this video later where I watched the CEO of Warner Music in an interview with Bloomberg. And one of the points that he makes in there is I think him admitting the colonial arrangement here that you are talking about in terms of voting. The CEO of Warner Music was asked, about what he thought about the social media world and launching artists through TikTok and stuff like that. And he was like, TikTok is cool if you want to get hot for a minute. But if you really want to break through all of the noise, he said with AI, which of course he loves, and Warner just signed a new deal with them, with AI and more people involved in music production and management and all of this, he was saying more than ever, you need a major label like Warner if you want to break through the noise, he said. So, and what he's acknowledging is that, yes, we can all be out here talking about this politics and that politics and the inertia and colonialism. We could be all hating on all of it, but there's just an increased amount of noise because everyone has a podcast, everyone is on YouTube, everyone is producing media and content. And so the only way to break through any of that noise to become the dominant narrative is to be associated with the ruling elite and their platforms and their outlets and their algorithm manipulation and their funding and all of that. So it's Marshall McLuhan all over the place. He said to his credit as a conservative white man, he said himself, the only way for the voiceless and the powerless to be heard are through acts of the T word that, of course, nobody wants and nobody would want to publicly acknowledge being a part of or supporting. So, but his point was there's no way to get heard because the media environment is all encompassing. It's all pervasive. It consumes us as we consume it. So that's why. So what I will say is this, though. I think we do need what I think is relatively safe to advocate, and what I would like to advocate is that more people, myself included, be challenged into doing more organized, interruptive activities like general strikes, like activism that literally disrupts the normal flow of daily business, as opposed to these weekend rallies where we all go and then go
And hang out.
walk home and hang out and all of that and catch up with our friends and all of that stuff and feel like we're being revolutionary. But outside of that, but I do think that's the kind of we have to find ways of finding new ways of peacefully, civilly disrupting the normal flow of business. And that's the only way I think we can break through with new messages.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we got to do something. But Dre, you had a thought. I feel like you had a thought.
Oh, I kind of lost it. So you have to say a thing.
So I'm just thinking, like, I haven't watched this, on the latest one with Warner, and people in the chat mention this whole deal that could happen between Netflix and Warner Brothers. Which is also why
nasty work.
Is nasty work for real. That's a great way to put it. It's definitely nasty work.
Remember they told us the internet was going to free up content and level the playing field?
It was gonna be the new thing. It was gonna allow everybody to have access to everything, right?
Yep.
And then slowly but surely they started making you pay for your access to everything, right? And this deal with Netflix and Warner Brothers, just so it is for now, like at this initial construction of a deal that they're doing, is only about movies, right? So it's only about the streaming movies, and if I read correctly, HBO movies.
HBO and the entire Warner catalog of films.
Right. And so, when they merge, I'll be curious to see what this does to the cost of Netflix, because that's right.
Double.
Right.
It's about to double.
Right.
Yeah, it's about to jump.
And then when for people who weren't paying attention, like 2 weeks ago, Netflix went about splitting their shares. So each Netflix share, somewhere in like mid-November, if I remember correctly, each Netflix share became 10 shares. So if you owned one share of Netflix, it became 10 shares of Netflix. which meant that your $1,000 share of Netflix
Yeah, they're
became
splitting it up.
10 $100 shares of Netflix, which allowed multiple people to jump on the Netflix bandwagon and buy shares. So they were able to increase, their holdings, increase their shareholders, increase like all the things. And then this announcement happened, and I was like, oh, that's why they did the split. This makes total sense now, because I was wondering, like, why all of a sudden you care about more people being able to buy shares in Netflix?
Because you needed that 86
Because you
billion to
needed
buy
that
Warner.
86 billion.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, the whole thing is wild, and they're just playing in all our faces
All the time.
about like how, like what is happening and how these things all work, and who's allowed to participate in this process, which brings us back to, of course, Trump accounts, right? Which are basically IRAs, which are funded and, increase or decrease depending on the stock market, which includes things like Netflix. Like, it just never, like it.
Now, the
Yeah.
real, the real
They do what they want.
conspiracy. No, I think the real conspiracy that will be revealed in time is that the deal that Netflix spent a few years ago to pay the Obamas to create film content. That's the real play here.
They do what they want. They do what they want. I mean, when you think about, so for instance, think about the idea of like, you don't scream, what is it? You don't scream fire in a crowded like movie theater. Like that came from a Supreme Court judge who used the Espionage Act, I think a little bit before World War One, on like three foreigners or whatever have you, that was saying like, yo, don't conscript, like don't fight in a war. They just want you to die for money. And it was like, hey, and the judge saying that them trying to get people to not die for free for empire is like screaming fire in a crowded theater. Like, you're scaring people. Like, no, go fight for empire. Don't not do that. Or even idea of the what is it? The marketplace of ideas came from that same judge. Like, that same judge was saying, oh, that's socialism and all this other shit, because that's not really cool in the marketplace of ideas. So it's again okay, no pun, no need for redundancy, but the idea is we got to just stop playing the game. Like, you got to find ways to stop playing the game. Like, people talk about the Matrix or all this other nonsense. It's like, fam, you live in the Matrix. This doesn't have to be this way. Like, none of this has to be this way. We are choosing to do any of these things. Now, when I say choosing, that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, oh, you can just stop and just not pay your bills and your lights get cut off or whatever. It just means like, oh, okay, if we understand that we are choosing to do these things, then how do we choose to not do these things? Who do we need to deal with to not do these things? How do we organize around not doing these things? And to Kwame Touré point, rest in peace to him, he said, like, oh no, I hate things. He was like, yo, I deal with things that I hate. Like, I read Mein Kampf because I hate Hitler. And I think he was like, I think all European Jewish people should read Mein Kampf to understand the mind of the person that you hate. So there's a lot of things that I hate. I wake up hating shit every day. So to do that, you need to understand that, oh, okay, none of this has to be this way. All of this material, the dialectical material, that we going into barbarism, but I would argue capitalism is already barbarism. Like, it doesn't have to be this way. We are choosing to do that. So understanding that you are choosing to do that then makes you have to question yourself and do some introspection. Like, wait a minute, who the fuck do they think? What? Yeah, but
No, I agree that this needs to be clipped, and the headline should be Dre agrees with Kanye. Slavery is a choice. That's the thumbnail title of the clip right there.
nah,
Only
yeah.
you would take it there.
Whatever get clicks. Whatever get clicks.
Hey, we going viral today, baby. We
We
going
going viral with
viral
this
today.
one.
Oh man. So Dre, you had mentioned earlier that you are a fellow tether, which I thought
I was about to say, y'all got me
level
up here with these tethers. Where's my
I know,
FBAs at?
with the
God
utmost
damn it.
utmost disrespect.
Lord, yeah,
Listen.
yeah.
So you sent us an article. There's also a road, Jared, and we might as well just go there because like why not? So there's also a
Oh
You
road
know,
on
yeah,
when I
yeah.
Trinidad
think
and
about it, I
Tobago.
have to join this FBA shit because this is the only place where my being half black gets me fully included. So like
No,
I
you gotta
might
be a
have to switch up on this shit right
you
here,
gotta be
man.
a, oh no, you gotta be a Sulan. So look, before we go to that, as a principled hater, I looked into that Sulan nonsense. I've talked about it in the chat before. I've scared people with it already. So Sulan is actually from Tariq Nasheed. His two little like, minions that made this shit a for-profit organization. What Sulan means is soul autochthonous African, whatever the fuck. So they're saying that they're native to here and that they aren't connected to Africa for real, but that they still practice hoodoo because that's still a part of their culture. And then like
Wow.
I got the video. I should send it to y'all of Tariq Nasheed like bigging them up for like, yeah, we need to do that because you know that ADOS thing kind of fucked us up. The FBA, you know, we need to change the language. He literally says we need to change the language. So this so long we can keep them all messed up. Because the same dudes that made up so long, I think he did an interview on one of those publications, and he was like, yeah, you know, that Monaleo, what she's talking about is not what we're on. Like we're not including everybody for real. This is about America, like America.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm
America.
telling you, I'm out. I'm about to switch up. So I'm sorry, Renee. What link?
No, listen,
What
and
link was I
just for
looking
the
Trinidad.
for?
sake of doing it, I will throw out my classic that my son does whenever he's making fun of this fucking nonsense, and he goes, "America,
America.
call." But so Dre, you are part tether and from the beautiful Trinidad, and so
Yeah.
there's been a lot happening. And as people might be reminded, last week I was so frustrated and irritated with this whole thing that I had Tobago and Guyana and Grenada and all the places all mixed up because I was pissed off and irritated. And so I
Mhm.
put a note. I don't even know if Jared noticed that I put a note like chastising myself in the video last week because I was so mad at myself for being so pissed off that I had all the islands confused because I was just
Yeah.
fucking irritated. But
Yeah. Yeah.
we've been also discussing the fact that the U.S. military is utilizing Tobago and has been welcomed to do so by the Trinidadian Prime Minister,
By
President.
Kamala,
Right,
yeah.
right. And so you sent a article about the people landing, I guess, pulling up at the
Ships.
port in Trinidad, the
Yeah.
ships, right?
Yeah. The
Because
whites,
they're
the whites,
right,
the buckler.
right,
Yeah.
right. And so, do you want to let's talk about Trinidad a little bit here, and then I know you
Yeah.
recently lost your brother, and so
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Mm.
extending condolences to you and the family.
Thank you.
And so I know there's also some stuff happening that you're trying to get support for with your brother. So let's talk about Trinidad and all these things.
Yeah. So like me, so my father, he's from Princess Town, like originally from Trinidad. I was born here, but like I'm because of him getting closer to understanding like my heritage and shit like that, because I just see black as all encompassing, but because it's African, like it's all encompassing. So with going on with Trinidad, it feels like I lost my mother in 2020. I lost my brother this year. It's like both of them during this dickhead's administration, but it doesn't really matter. But like the idea of them pushing in onto Trinidad and them using them using Tobago to as a basically a military fucking base to set up to go at Guyana over wanting to get into Venezuela, and then people arguing like, oh yeah, we don't really need to worry about South America like that. And then like all this other stuff, people like, yo, we need to step back. It's like, yo, Trinidad and Guyana are only 7 nautical miles away from each other. The the thing that they put up, the radar that they put up, replaced an Israeli radar. It was an Israeli radar in Guyana in Tobago first. They put an American one that's there. As they have that there setting up, bringing out the Ford ships and all this other bullshit, people are still traveling to Trinidad. So it's a bunch of whites that are coming up on ships and stuff like, oh, nah, you know, it's all good. We can come to Trinidad and have a grand old time. One person, like, I didn't even know there was something going on. Like, and within this article, one glaring thing that stuck out to me is the UAE. The UAE has partnership with Trinidad where they're going to do a dual passport. But the way that the dual passport is going to work out is that anybody from the U.S., and this is not, I don't give a shit about borders. This is just speaking pragmatically. Anybody from the UAE can pull up to Trinidad. Like you don't need a visa. You just good. It's like visa, you good. You don't need anything. But Trinidad, the only people from Trinidad that can go to UAE and get like visas and all that other stuff are like basically the aristocrats, like the political class, like the Kamlas of the world. Like I can't, my Afro Caribbean black ass can't pull up there. Like my daddy can't pull up there. My grandmama can't pull up there. But the UAE can come heavy over to Trinidad. And it also made me think like, wait, why is the UAE heavy over to Trinidad? Another thing the UAE is doing in Trinidad is they're doing a bunch of internet shit, right? And you know what internet stuff means in this day and age? AI. Security AI is what they're also doing in Trinidad. From that security AI stuff that they're also doing in Trinidad, that they did it in a bunch of colorful language that if you read the article, you're going to be like, I don't even know what this person is talking about. But you see artificial intelligence, you know what type of time they're on. So they talk about that. Then from there, you think like, okay, so you're doing anybody can come over from the UAE once this dual visa thing works out. You had somebody from AFRICOM at that signing saying that, okay, yeah, we understand that this isn't a fair trade, but whatever. Like saying it in the article that we understand that this isn't a fair trade between Trinidad and UAE. The other thing that made me think about was like, does the UAE deal with Venezuela oil wise? Yes, they do. They do it quote unquote illegally because of the sanctions, right? But it also made me think about the fact that you got to make the connections. The fact that there is this going on in Venezuela, them wanting to remove the current administration of Venezuela, them positioning themselves in Tobago and Trinidad, Kamala being complicit in the bullshit, the Tobagan, one of the politicians there, like, hey, we should be a part of the Security Council because you can't just be doing this. And then Kamala like, yeah, you're in a part of the Security Council. I don't give a fuck what you got to talk about. So them doing that, them watching over the UAE being able to pull up to Trinidad all it wants to, it's like, oh, okay, maybe the end goal is for them to invade Venezuela and for the UAE to just take Venezuelan oil as much as they want to, as much oil as they want to. So it's nasty all around. Yeah, it's nasty all around.
Listen, it just be so much. And it's, like when you start thinking about how complicit the United States government is with all of this like madness all around the world is like wild. And yeah, I agree. Like UAE is a U.S. proxy.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%. For sure.
And so it's almost like this whole thing that they have going with Trinidad is basically like the U.S. finding another way to like be all over the place. Listen.
The spheres of control.
Yeah. And so the other article that's on that row about Trinidad and Tobago is actually about the military ships. Yeah. Because I just feel like it's so like this is just like classic media, right? Like you have people in Trinidad and Tobago, you have people talking about the white people showing up at the docks and we don't see no wars here and we don't know what's going on here. And meanwhile, literally, you also have U.S. warships docking and like y'all just don't see each other. The
most though. The most.
It's like
you got the Ford USS Ford is huge.
Right. So we just go pretend like y'all didn't see that because there's no way. There's no way.
No, this is, I think I mentioned this somewhere recently that the point when you see the Gerald Ford and aircraft carriers going in, that a carrier is big in by itself, probably about 6, maybe 7,000 people, 30 to 40 aircraft, et cetera, and so forth. But they don't just come alone. They come with a battle group of 8 to 10 other ships, submarines, et cetera. So it's a lot of people and weaponry moving into the area for sure. I do remember there was one time I was supposed to have gone to Trinidad and Tobago when I was in the Navy, and unfortunately it was when my father died, so I had to miss that trip
Oh,
to go to
sorry.
his funeral. No, it's all good. I mean, but it was a long time ago. But I just always remember the what ends up happening is that so many of the people who formed the lower ranks doing all of the work have no idea what's going on, and they're just looking in terms of the party. So all I heard about was how much fun I missed from the sailors that were there. So I but they have no idea what the broader politics are most often, and often don't care either. But yeah, so yeah, when I saw the Gerald Ford coming in, I mean, the aircraft carriers, that's. But yeah, Maduro has it right here: a new eternal war,
Yeah.
or extending the
It's
old eternal war.
it never stops. This place has been around for what? They argue like 250 years. They constantly fight. Whiteness is violence. That's what it was made. Like the idea of whiteness, as far as, Sylvia Winter is actually still alive. She's 90 something. I don't know where she at, but I love her. Sylvia Winter was talking, like she talks about like whiteness in and of itself because of how it was created. Because if you look at Europe and you think about how they took Christianity and they saw God as white man, man one. That's God. That's them. That's how they see themselves. That's how they operate. Now, do everybody understand that part of it? Probably not. Probably not. But the idea of whiteness is rightness. They can do whatever they want. So they keep doing whatever they want because we keep playing this goddamn game. Like we keep playing the game with them, so they're gonna keep doing the shit that they're doing. Like if I'm playing Xbox and I'm playing fucking excuse my language, and I'm playing Madden or something, and I know you suck, and we playing for money, and you keep wanting to put up your money, we gonna keep playing. Cause you suck. Like you never gonna beat me. And I know you're not. You're never gonna unplug the controller. Because for some reason in your head, you think if you put up enough money that eventually you're gonna win. Or if you put up enough money that eventually I'm gonna be like, all right, I got enough. I got enough. No, that's again back to Sylvia Winter, Homo economicus, like constantly producing, like I'm constantly getting from your dumb ass. So that's just how it works.
And this is all reminding me that I owe Cloud and Ricky an email because we need to dive into this whole like Venezuela, CARICOM, Southcom,
Oh yeah.
Caribbean zone of peace. Like the whole thing needs like a deeper dive, and it was on my list to send the email last week, and I haven't done it yet. So just know that's coming because there's a lot of this that I only understand a little bit about because full transparency, I really for the most part try to follow like what's happening in Jamaica, and that's hard enough to keep track of. And then I'm like quasi watching what's happening in the other islands, and I'm still trying to figure out like Essequibo, which we had did a whole thing about before, because that whole like weird between like Guyana and Venezuela area, like there's just so much stuff. And again, just like we talked about with the inertia, the progressive inertia, like there's just so much information, and I'd love for us to try and find a way to kind of synthesize it so that people
that through line.
can take it all in, because it's just a lot. Like even recently, like there's a new fight now in Jamaica post the hurricane, because the PM was trying to send the military into cockpit country, and Curry was like, no man, like you can send the source, you can send the resources, but don't send no military here. And so people's response was like, how could you like do that. Like why would you deny help and blah 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 blah. Like because he knows exactly what's going to come if he lets the military. He lets like
Yeah,
knowing, so the whole thing is like there's just a lot. So outside
yeah.
of that, Dre, do you want to talk about, because I know you're trying to raise funds to
Oh, to
help
get my brother.
family. If
So
you want to talk about that a little bit.
yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. But my brother. So I was in Thailand training, and I got like a call like June 15th, about my brother being found dead. And so, as far as I hate Queens, I also hate New Jersey, but I like you, Renee. But because my mom died in Jersey too. So my brother being found dead in Patterson behind a building. Um, so like that crushed me because I'm like in literally like two different time zones. I hadn't been handling all that by myself, but I'm trying to raise 20K all together to go to Trinidad to like do a proper service for my brother. I'm doing it by myself. His father doesn't even know he's dead. Because they don't fuck with each other. He was only 28. He was dealing with mental health issues. He was also dealing with, because of the mental health issues, it caused it because we live in a system that doesn't give a shit about people. It forced the idea of like dealing with mental health issues more often than not, depending on the severity, you're gonna end up homeless. He was in and out of that situation. It was very hard for me to do anything because he wouldn't take on, and it's like you can't lock people in a room, and then I'm also a state away because he was also in Jersey. Um, he was found behind a building in Patterson, New Jersey. Uh, they didn't identify his body. They identified him. They found him May 1st. I was contacted June 15th because it took them having to do the FBI fingerprinting to figure out who he was, and then they got in contact with our grandfather, and then my cousin got in contact with me. So I'm trying to just get the monies together to put him and basically my mom too to like rest properly because my mother died of COVID. She had no health problems in regards to heart issues prior, but she worked in the medical field. She was the head of billing and coding for oncology at Montefiore Hospital, and then she was also the head of that in St. Luke's Hospital. So I know a bunch of shit about random shit about like hospital stuff because of her, because she would come home complaining about doctors and about how fucked up billing is and how like how, and she also explained the ACA to me, like the parts that they wasn't telling people. And so her working that job, going back and forth, she ended up catching COVID and it gave her a heart attack, but nobody got in contact with her for a few days. So we had to get the cops to break her door down. She probably dead for maybe 2 or 3 days. But yeah, so I had to even handle that by myself too. So yeah, and then I've been dealing with a lot of death. And then my cousin died. So yeah, a lot. Sorry about that, but yeah, a lot. Yeah.
No, don't be sorry about that. Like, listen, and just folks in the chat is sending
Oh,
condolences
thank you. I appreciate that.
and thoughts to the family. We just dropped in the chat the link to the GoFundMe. So if people are able and can give, if you can do so, please do.
It's also in the show description now too,
Thank you.
Um, I
as is the link to Dre's YouTube channel.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Great.
and I I hope we can help you get to that goal. This is
Yeah,
this is
thank
a
you.
rough. That's a long list of a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I was explaining that to somebody last night and it was like, fuck. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's the thing where, so to Sylvia Winters, I gotta find this woman. She 90, but I wonder if she need a boyfriend. But so Sylvia Winter, her book,
I can't stand you.
her book, what is it? I got is to be human. To be human is a praxis, and reading like that, just that title alone is heavy. But it also made me think. Also, to see somebody as human is a praxis. So that's why whiteness is so bad because they don't see humans. Because if I am practicing being a human every day, whatever that's supposed to be, but to the best of my ability, right? Then if I see you, whether we have disagreements or whatever have you, but I still see you as a human, I can treat you as such. If I see you as a human, whatever crime, let's say you committed a crime and I run in the judicial system, blah blah blah, and it's done in a fair way, you did the crime, I won't give you the death penalty. Why? Because I see you as a human. Let's say you are dealing with mental health issues, blah blah blah, and the third. I'm Since I see you as a human, I won't throw you to the side. Why? Because I need you to be to the best of your ability because I see you as a human. If you are unhoused, if you are homeless, I can't let you be homeless because I see you as a human. So there's no such thing as affordable housing if I see you as a human. The houses are just affordable. If I see you as a human, you're just going to be able to eat food. If I see you as a human, all of these things like medication and all that shit is going to be free because I see you as a human. Actually, the word free won't exist because I see you as a human. Because then that means there's no need for me to have to market shit that's supposed to keep you alive. Like I could market you an Xbox, but I'm not gonna market you medicine. So yeah.
That's legit. And again, folks, as you like, share, subscribe, and support the platform, including the Patreon, links in the show description. You'll also find the links to Dre's GoFundMe and YouTube channel as well.
And please do support. And I appreciate you being candid and just giving that information. And when you dropped it in the chat, you were like, I almost hate that I have to do this, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I felt that for you because like we live in this place where like you don't want to admit like I need help with this thing, right? Like I'm like there's no way I can get this done if I don't get the support of the community and I don't get some additional resources because of course you're living in this system that does not allow people to live and survive and take care of each other and do the things that they need to do in order to support their family. Like it's the wildest thing. But we have a little more time, and since you used the term affordability, it reminded me of this thing that I put on the run sheet. And so y'all, I apologize in advance again because this is going to be another one of them things y'all going to be mad at me about.
Is it a scary Dell lady?
No, it's not the scary Dell
okay.
lady.
Right.
It is another scary person who we don't often play like
Peter
on
Thiel?
the channel, but I do feel like pointing out the absurdity of this is worth doing because again, and like as always with these things, like I suffered through it by mistake. It wasn't really like it wasn't intentional that I watched it, but once I watched it, I couldn't unsee it. So here we go. You got it.
Day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again.
But the word affordability is a Democrat scam.
One of my top priorities will be to quickly defeat inflation and make America affordable again.
I don't want to hear about the affordability.
We will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again.
You know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about affordability. Affordability is a con job.
We will target everything from car affordability to housing affordability.
You know, this whole thing is, they use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax.
Starting on day one, we will end inflation.
Y'all. Like you can't make that stuff up.
Yeah.
You can't make it up. And I just want to point out again that when Mom Donnie went to the White House, they went and quote unquote supposedly agreed on affordability, right? And so like these are the things, that really like feed the inertia, right? Because literally that man said, we're going to do something about the affordability. And less than a year later said, affordability is a Democratic hoax. And and people, because we live in a place where we are all being totally propagandized and the memory is so short, people will literally forget that he campaigned on affordability, right? And so the wildness of it all, when you see how quickly the term switch, right? And how quickly and this cult that exists that follow this man, like they just gonna say like, oh no, he never said that. Like even they would watch that video and say that it's like fake and it's AI and he never actually said anything about accountability. Like it is the wildest. It's just the wildest thing I've ever seen. I don't. I was a little bit in awe watching that one because I was like, wow, like, we really just flipped. Like we just straight up like just change directions and no one mentioned it. There is not one mainstream outlet that is, but they were quick to point out that affordability is what he agreed on with Mamdani, which is wild to me.
Yeah. They'll say anything. They'll say anything.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say I did watch that movie that came out a year or so ago about him. What was it called? Oh damn. It's not The Apprentice, is it? No, but something like that. That dramatic film that came out just before the election about Trump's life. That seems oddly or eerily realistic, but I'm sure he would deny all of it because it does show him R-wording his wife. It does show him engaged in some other salacious activities. And one of the points that's made throughout the film is that all of his mentors taught him to do just what you saw in that clip. They were very explicit. Roy Cohn and the other ones all said, just keep talking and lie repeatedly and lie at will and say whatever you need to say in any given moment and double down on it. So it just makes perfect sense. And he's proving it to be relatively successful.
Just like a Queens person. Just like a Queens person.
That's the bottom line. Trump is from Queens. That should have let everybody know. I'm trying to tell you, right? You should have.
When I moved to Ohio, man, I had so many people here like that were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump," and I like as a New Yorker, I tried to, and I came here. I was like, y'all don't feel that that's a finesse? Like he's lying to you.
Nah, but your Harlem boy did that though, Dre. Look, unfortunately, I watch too much of the nonsense, and I think Cam talks all the time about how he said everybody wanted to leave New York and run their dope down to Florida. He said it's a much shorter trip to go to Ohio, so he set up shop in Ohio.
That's true.
So
it's true.
And he's a Trump supporter.
That makes sense.
I'm trying to tell you.
That makes sense. Like, it was funny is like. Well, that's a random story because that pink Range Rover, I used to see it because like it would be in the Bronx because he would let his friends drive it. So I'm pretty sure that was probably a Trump mobile before the Trump mobile.
Oh wow.
Nevertheless, the idea of just saying whatever is because what you gonna do about it? Again, if we keep playing this game of Madden and you suck, like what you about to do about it? Like you ain't about to do shit. Like, for lack of a better term, they think you pussy. Like they just gonna keep doing whatever they want to do because what are you going to do? Like, okay, you can argue, we can have conversations, we can have debates, we can write books, we can have sermons, we can go to the mosque, we can do all these things. But ultimately, if we all know that the one thing that has to happen that you can't say on YouTube should happen, it's like, okay, that has to even be organized. Like, I don't understand why people just kind of disconnect these things. Like, you watch these certain films that invoke that, like, or that bring that up. Like, for instance, Star Wars, even though I only saw the first one, but like that's supposed to be like the Viet Cong. Like, you see these movies, you're like, yeah, blah blah, and the third. It's like, yeah. Granted, those movies remove a lot of the politics, they remove a lot of the organizing because why would they show that to you? But the beautiful part, like the fighting and all that, like that's not even how revolutions happen. Like it's not just somebody wilding out and then everybody wilding out. Like you have whatever, man. Yeah.
No, somebody pointed to it in the chat, and I just want to acknowledge that yes, I did sound.
Aha! Aha!
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like if they put a little bit of makeup on you, you would actually look like that.
I'm trying to just wait a couple years. You won't even need any makeup. Just stay. Everybody, keep your subscription. Stay tuned to Black Liberation Media. In about 20 years, when we're on episode 2000 of Saturdays with Renee, that will be me live and direct. No makeup necessary.
And I just want to say, like, sometimes Ricky says stuff, and I'm like, damn, like, how she just called it. Nothing good comes from two fair zones, Queens. Just saying. Just.
Yo, Ricky also Trini. So see, we get it. Like we here. She's also Trini. Like you, bruh. Queen, listen, I've been like so. For instance, just a little bit, the last of the Queens hate. It's probably gonna be more, but like I used to hang out with my friends on like Roosevelt Island, like
He
so.
said last of the Queens hate, but there'll probably be more.
Queens is like right over the bridge. Like I mean, Roosevelt. Yeah, Queens is right over the bridge from Roosevelt Island, so you can see the big ass project. Like that's cool, but like it's cool because like you like Mobb Deep. It's cool because you like Nas. It's cool because you like Fairmont. It's not cool because you want to be in Queens. Like nobody wants to be in Queens. Like you just happen to be in Queens. It's like you don't want to be like, yo, I'm from Queens. Like I've never met anybody that like, yo, bro, I'm from Queens. Like, calm down, calm down.
I do have the fit. It is waiting in the closet for me. Don't worry. I'll be back. I'll be back.
So real quick, we had a question in the chat earlier, and so I'll because we still have a little time. So Latif, shout out Latif, says, small business owner operator here. How do I prepare as an entrepreneur to support a general strike while considering the trickle down impact? And I don't know if we even have an answer to that question, but it's a good question.
That's a good question.
And you know, I think in general, and I know this was a sharp turn, y'all, but I wanted to make sure because I had it start. I saw the time running out and I had it start. So I wanted to make sure I asked the question. But I think in general, we like as a general community and expansion of people who live in these here United States, I think have a struggle with even the idea of an actual general strike happening, right? Because grand scheme, there is a lot that has to happen in order for there to be a true general strike. And so I think back to, you know, these like, and I was making fun of it because I just think the whole thing is a little nonsensical. But this like the buying nothing, whatever that group was that pulled together the Indivisible and Tamika Mallory's group and whoever the other one was that pulled together like this don't buy anything, you know, just for the 4 days, right? Like just from Friday to Monday and only targeting like Target and Home Depot and someone else. I can't remember what the third one was. Amazon. And not that those places don't deserve to be totally like you know, dots, but it's for different reasons, right? Like we should not. Home Depot should have already been on your list because they helped build Cop City, right? I haven't been to Home Depot in like 5 years because I just can't. Like I can't do it. And like Target, you know, they love to brag about like being part of Target's demise, whatever. Like, you know, I like to remind people that Target's customer base of Black people is like 7% of where they get their money from. And so I'm still not convinced that this like boycott of Target is like, you know, a thing. And I'm also extremely like annoyed that people are boycotting Target over like fake DEI policies that were never meant to stay in place and that actually only resulted in less Black people being elevated in the company. But nobody was mad at Target for being part of the surveillance state in Minneapolis, right? So like, okay. And then like Amazon, which I fully accept as part of my living contradictions, because I shop at Whole Foods and I listen to Audible, and my parents who live like in the middle of nowhere use Amazon to purchase things. So I accept my living contradiction with regard to Amazon. I do not, that's not to say that people shouldn't not use Amazon. It's just, I'm just trying to be very transparent here in my life, right? But like attempting to set up a boycott of those three companies over a 4-day period, because I'm still not entirely sure like what exactly that was supposed to result in. Like, I just don't understand the point of these things. And so
Self-promotion, PR for them and their
right,
organizations.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So when you think about, and then people always want to bring up the Montgomery bus boycott as like evidence that like boycotts work. And people are they're so failing to understand like what really happened, right? Like what really happened, like how much work it was in order to get that boycott to actually be a thing that resulted in any kind of change. Like,
Or even why is that the only one people reference?
right. And so there's just so much. But I don't know if you
The
all
article
have
that I
any
just pulled
input.
up,
Yeah.
just again to credit you, Renee, that article I just pulled up where Tamika Mallory is making this point about 800,000 Black women are out of work, and then saying that this is likely due to the lack of DEI at Target and elsewhere. You already debunked all of that. That's patently absurd. Because as you showed, most of the DEI related hiring went to the board, the exec board, not the labor force, which, as you also showed, had a decrease in the hiring of Black workers pre so-called DEI. So all that this is a Black bourgeoisie promo campaign to give false legitimacy to a neo-colonial leadership. I mean, it's absurd. So I mean, it's before we even get to whether or not a boycott of such limited effort and time would have any meaningful effect on the hiring practices of Target. And as I remember when we were talking about it before, that actually reminded you, and we made the point that you're calling for a boycott of Target and encouraging people to go to Costco, while the employees at Costco were trying to rebargain and unionize and reorganize their own labor. And you're like, nah, fuck that.
I don't care what you got going on. I'm getting on a Carnival cruise and going to Trinidad.
Right.
Carnival
And
cruise
I
in
like
Trinidad.
we're not even going to talk about like the nonsensical, like it's so
Yeah.
nonsensical, the whole thing. And like we're going to boycott Amazon because you want to help the Democrats who run indivisible with whatever thing they're trying to do to pull everybody back into the Democratic Party. But we're not going to talk about the fact that Amazon's like turnover rate is like 150%, because what they do is essentially like fire everybody and just replace everybody with people who are more desperate than the group they just fired, until that group's no longer as desperate, and then they fire them and replace them with another group that's just desperate. Like, it is the wildest. Like, I'm like, and none of these things get talked about. And that's why I get frustrated when I see like people get really annoyed with me for not being on board with these, like, Target pot practice things. And yeah, I pick and choose. Like, for me, Home Depot, like that direct connection to Cop City was like, that was too much for me, right? Like, I didn't want my money to go to that. I couldn't.
Look, not to justify any of our contradictions, but the reality is that it even, I think, is connected to this whole argument around the claim that we should support Black businesses as a solution to Black economic inequality. There aren't enough options for consumer needs before we even get to our silly wants. I'm talking about the actual needs. There's very few options for consumer needs to be fulfilled, and that is the result of the monopolization that led to the prevalence of Targets and Walmarts and Amazons and Starbucks. It's the tendency towards monopoly in this economy that allows for that and makes it very difficult for people to find alternatives without going wildly out of their way, waiting, expanding and extending the amount of wait time, the cost even to get certain things. So it's unrealistic to expect that these boycotting inertia moves are going to be successful when I think to the broader point of that we've been making all day and all forever is that much bigger things need to occur. So to that initial question, when I go through my almost daily thought experiments about how to make, what would it look like and how things, the reality is, as I've always understood strikes and boycotts, it's the pre-existing organization of unions that make the suffering passable, the redistribution of goods and services, the redistribution of what little resources exist within the union. So expanding that, a small business is going to suffer because their customers are going to be encouraged, at least, to go on strike and to lose their jobs and to at least temporarily lose their incomes. And so it would require a kind of mutual aid networking that was
Yeah.
prepared for that, that would help everybody get through. And then at the end of the day, because it's the only thing that, in my limited capacity for these thought experiments and what little study I can add to it, is that there's going to have to be some sort of full collapse that gets to the point where there's something akin to what we saw during the pandemic, where those who own the means of production realize that without their consumer base, which they're going to realize through this old AI bubble too, by the way, is they're firing everybody that's supposed to come and buy the product that they're producing, that the system it's forced into some kind of renewed engagement. And then to the extent that we have organized radical alternatives, maybe they could be initiated or whatever. But that's the only way. I can't, because again, I really love this whole point about elections and political inertia, that I don't know how else we're going to end up breaking all of this. There's too much money being thrown around. There's going to be another wave of media and punditry telling us how stupid we are and how backward we are for advocating the things we advocate and bringing people right back to the
I
intellectual
mean,
confines. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the idea of like dual power should be just it's a temporary through the thing that needs to happen that you can't say on YouTube, but it comes to the idea that if we are living in this system, and again, if we are choosing this social contract, and again, the word choice is not literally like, yeah, you want to do this. It's just like because of the way everything is set up and because your literal existence, you have to survive under capitalism. It creates a space where you do ask those questions like, what, like as a yeah, like you said, like as a small business owner, like how do I work around that? It has to be a matter of mutual aid. It has to be a matter of general strike because we live in a global economy. Like there's not mercantilism. Like it's none of that. Like we live in a global economy. It's not cut off. So this idea that, oh yeah, Target's going down. It's like Target was already ass. Like it don't like it was already doing bad. Like so like Tabitha Brown telling people, hey, I just need you guys to go out there and buy my bullshit because you love me because you black, right? I'm black, but I like my money. Like all of that doesn't really, they just want money. They just constantly want money. Like they don't really care how they get it. They just need to get it. So this chasing after this chasing after like how do you stop capitalism is a collective it's a collective of people not participating in it and figuring out those ways through finding an organization. That's why I joined back to be around like-minded people to figure out ways to figure all this shit out. Because in the end, if you allow yourself to be by yourself through all of this, you are doing nothing more than just spinning in a circle and kicking a can down the road until you die. Like you have to organize and you have to be intentional about what you're organizing for. Like you don't necessarily want to be 70 years old and thinking back to the good old days when you were protesting and organizing and then thinking back to like, I remember when we did all this and that. It's like But what happened though? Like we still here. And it's not to take away from what you were doing. It's to like, aren't you sad though? Like, aren't you mad? Like, and to when you had Azania on the show, on your show, I really loved like how passionate he was and saying like, when I was underground, I felt free and all of these things. And to his point, and I love Daruba, even though sometimes he whispers, so I can't hear him, so I got to turn my shit all the way up. So when I'm listening to Daruba talk and I listen to Zanya talking, I'm like, they speaking that. They understand, like, yo, we did all of these things. You got to keep doing all of these things. Like with progressive inertia, the only way you break it is with consistency. You cannot stop trying to get the thing. However, you need to try to get the thing. You cannot stop trying to get the thing. Like this whole idea, oh yeah, I don't want to talk politics around certain people. I don't want to talk politics around my family. No. Talk politics. Because if you don't, you're setting up your nieces and nephews and grandkids to have these same fucking conversations again. Like it makes no sense to act like you can't talk about tariffs with your next door neighbor. Like, now we talking about all that shit because we need to do something. Like it can't be I'm only positioning myself to do these things in these certain places and hopefully we can get together to general strike. It's like if I'm gonna be a principal hater, we gotta all hate some shit together collectively, organized. Yeah.
Listen, that's look, and again, I want
My
people
bad,
to
my bad, my
oh,
bad. Is this too slow?
Now listen.
Couldn't find the
you
layout.
couldn't find the button.
The StreamYard layout. God damn it.
And I just want to no, you're good. That was well deserved. That was well deserved. And Dre, I appreciate you so much. And this was everything that I like hoped and anticipated that it would be having you on. So I really, really appreciate it. And we'll stay in touch because I'm sure there's gonna be a reason to bring this back up at a later time as we fall headfirst into this nonsensical thing that's about to happen as we go into 2026 and a new set of elections. Because good Lord, it's coming. Yeah. But I wanted to just quickly say to folks, like, listen, if you, for your own personal reasons, decide that you don't want your money to go to a thing, then do that, right? Like you can decide like you don't want your money to go to a thing. That's why I don't go to Dunkin' Donuts. That's why I don't go to Home Depot. That's why, like, there's a bunch of places that I just don't mess with, mostly just because the idea that my money is going to this thing, like, makes my stomach hurt. So I just don't do it, right? Like, and it's not because I anticipate is going to have any like long-standing deep impact, right? Like Dunkin' Donuts don't care that I don't go to Dunkin' Donuts. Like they don't care, right? They don't care. But I care that my little like, whatever change comes back and ends up going to pay for cops somewhere else. Like that's not going to happen, right? It's why I don't go to Starbucks. I mean, on top of the fact that their coffee sucks, like
Starbucks found me. They contacted me. They said, "Where you been?"
Right.
Those emails asking you where you been at. It's like, yo, fam, I will rob you. Like I'm from that era. Like don't
send me one more email. I'll show you where I've been at.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
now that said, like even though I don't
hold on, YouTube, my bad. Like
Trey was just joking.
It's jokes. It's jokes.
He meant rob as in run off brotherhood. That's what he
exactly.
Run on brotherhood. Rob. We rob people all day. We run on brotherhood.
On brotherhood. Black power. Yeah, all that.
So, but I'll go stand out there for part. Like if a Starbucks within like driving distance does one of these red cup, like walk outside and boycotts, I'm down because, something's got to give. Right. But, I encourage people to do the things that you can be comfortable doing. And, it's easy to say like boycott Target if you live in a place where you have options that aren't Target. Like there are a lot of people who that's their only option, right? Like I just watched the thing this morning about Dollar General and the fact that like they randomly changed their like the price that is on the shelf
is not $1.
It's not it's not $1, and it's also not the price you get charged at the register, with a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
items. Like they get to the register and they're told like a different price, and they're like, wait, that's not what the shelf said. And Dollar General's been sued about this. And they've paid fees about this, and they don't care because whatever they're paying when they get sued is less than the millions upon millions of dollars they make by overcharging people at the register. So
the money's not real.
Right. But
I told you when that one high-priced white attorney I spoke to for literally 30 seconds, because she said I can't afford a full minute, she said, you don't want this case because Morgan will lose, and they just pay the fine and keep it busy, keep it moving. You don't want this case. They'll bleed you dry and keep it moving. They don't mind losing, even if they lose, they don't mind. They just keep it moving.
Right. They're all good. It doesn't matter. Right. So I encourage people to do the thing that you feel like at least allows you to feel like you're not contributing to something that you just don't want to contribute to. Right. I encourage people to watch Dre's channel. Like Dre cracks me up because he lives in the Midwest, and you could not be more New York than you are. Like
that is funny.
It cracks me up. So I'm glad that you clarified that you're actually from Harlem, because now it makes so much more sense. But I appreciate the time and the input, and there's always so much more that we can dive into. There's a whole thing now with the birthright citizenship. Just so you know, Jared, I know, listen, Jared, I reached out to, part of the reason I did not bring it up was because I reached out to Margaret Kimberly and she responded to me. So I'm going to get back to you so that we can have that conversation. Because I do think, especially as someone who is birthright, because both of my parents are naturalized. Like,
my daddy's a migrant.
Well, see, so listen, so all of these things, are playing this game. They just playing in our faces, and I'm looking forward to having that conversation.
I'm just proud to be, a full-blooded FBA. Just I'm just proud of it. Tariq, salute. And
clip this. Screen record this right now. Clip this. Send this out to Tariq and them.
These tethers over here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, yo, because I hate Tariq Nasheed with I hate a lot of things. Him, the Solon shit specifically, because the idea of
that shit is wild.
flattening Pan-Africanism to just like, nah, that shit is bullshit. Like, we don't want to do all that. Like, I heard like one of the people that made up not Pan-African, one of the dudes that made up Solon said Africanism is a what did he say? It's a fucking leech. He said it's a leech. It's leeching all. How does it? What are you talking about?
Listen. I am a parasite to ADOS and I am a tether to FBA. So I don't like neither one of them, and they don't like each other. And so they all working in the same. Again, they're another set of two cheeks of the same ass. So
hold on, wait a minute. Yvette Carnell is his friend. This all makes sense now.
Whose friend?
All makes sense, Dr. Ball. This all makes sense, Dr. Ball.
Whose friend?
I said it all makes sense, Dr. Ball. Didn't you do shows with Yvette Carnell one time? Didn't you have?
Oh yeah, back once upon a time, back in 2015, it started when I was with the Real News Network, and in 2015, I thought she was a capable and even risk-taking, proud Black journalist. And she interviewed me at the beginning on her platform around buying power. They continue from time to time to reference the work and cite the work. And then as I've said, I got invited to a conference in Kentucky. Yeah. And once we all met face to face and heard each other in complete speeches, it was clear we were on different teams. And by the time I got home, I was already being attacked on Twitter. So, and they lied. They even, as I read, they even lied about what I was wearing at the event. They literally lied about what I was wearing at the event. So it was wild.
You had your best.
For
You had your
me, I
best
was
song.
fitted. I had a fly print shirt on. I had my only good pair of slacks. I had on a pair of dress shoes, and
Yeah,
for me, it was fitted. And I
yeah,
thought I was fly that day. And
yeah.
come to find out,
Yeah.
but
No,
when you're
not.
hanging out with rich white folks like they were, I just wasn't able to get to their level.
Yeah, it's nasty. Like
Yeah.
even the arguments of
So
those. I'm sorry, just one thing. The arguments of those people, like so they try to attach themselves to the Yamasee War, right? And I think that happened in like the 17th century. They try to say like, oh, because there was African indigenous people who were fighting the British or whatever, the British colony that was there. But how they shape it, they act as though those African indigenous people were there already. They don't realize like how long the enslavement of Africans has been going on, and they don't know that there was a Spanish colony in what is now South Carolina in like the 1500s that had a revolt. I forgot the word of the colony. I forgot the name of the colony, but it was a Spanish colony that had a revolt. So a bunch of colonizers, a bunch of buckler got murdered or got smurdered, and then a bunch of African people just scurried off. They like ran about and just figured the shit out. So one would believe that if there are African people that are in in South Carolina for that long, that they're gonna intermingle with the indigenous people, and that's what happened. So that's why some of the Yamasee people are half African. Not that Africans were already here. Like they keep running this logic that Africans were already here. Like, fam, the continent is huge. Just be there. That's where you were. Like, it's okay. It's very much okay that you were from the continent. It is very much okay.
Wild stuff.
well,
Wild stuff. Well, Dre, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
absolutely.
I really, truly, and truly, I appreciate you, y'all. Please check Dre, check the channel out, and please, if you can, give to help Dre, take care of his family, support it. I just thank you. This was great. Thank you.
Yeah, this was dope. And the links to all of Dre's stuff is in the show description. Salute to you, Dre, and to your family, and peace to you and everyone in the undefeated chat, because we know you're willing to fight for it, as Fred Hampton used to say. And I will be back at 6:00 for Saturday Night Live. So if folks
Facts.
got time, come
You
on
didn't
back.
remind me to put it on the calendar,
No, because
man.
I couldn't remind you because it literally I just found out I could do
okay.
it like 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
So
I feel better.
I couldn't have given you any heads up because I just found out I'm allowed to do it.
Y'all, I'm trying. I'm trying to keep on top of it, y'all.
No, Renee is doing. Renee has made the platform and selfishly my involvement so much easier. So this is smooth. So salute to Renee for that. And yeah, Dre, this has been a lot of fun, man. Look forward to the next time. And yes, I did say Queens gave us Pharoah Monch, but they also gave us Russell Simmons.
Saturday
With Renee.